Hello and welcome to my channel. Myself Farida Fatima. I'm back with the next video, that is from Financial Accounting Chapter 2 Consignment. Little more theory part is there from this chapter. Let me explain you the entire theory, then we'll go on with the problems. See, in the last video I have explained you the meaning of consignment, then who is consigner, who is consignee, goods sent on consignment, and also the relationship or the differences between consignment and sale. Now today I am going to explain you the difference between pro forma invoice and account sale. This is also very important. You should understand first the theory part, then only you can do the problems in a very simple and easy way. So let's begin. A pro forma invoice is sent by the consignor to the consignee. See, for example, I will explain you this completely in a very simple way. That, for example, consignor, and this is consignee. Okay, so pro forma invoice will be prepared by the consignor, and account sale will be prepared by the consignee. Okay, in a simple way I am explaining you that the pro forma invoice will be prepared by whom? By the consignor, and account sale will be prepared by the consignee. Is this clear? The first point is clear. For example, I am myself is a consignor, so I am preparing so I am preparing the pro forma invoice. And for example, you are B, you are preparing the account sales. Okay, then a pro forma invoice gives the description, quantity and price of the goods sent. So in pro forma invoice, the consignor will mention about the descriptions of the goods, the quantity of goods, how much he has sent to the consignee, whereas in account sale gives the particulars of the gross sales by the consignee, expenses incurred by, and the commission due to the consignee, advance given by the consignee to the consignor. Now see here, beta. Consignor will prepare the pro forma invoice. In that, he will write the description of the goods and the quantity of the goods which has been sent from the consignor to the consignee. Whereas in account sale, the consignee will give the description about the sale proceed or the gross sale, how much ever he has been sent, kitna becha. He have sent, see, A have sent to B. So B is writing that I have sold these many goods, this much of the expenses I have incurred, इतने expenses हुए, इतना मुझे commission चाहिए. So the commission will be the amount of commission, how much you have to pay, and also the unsold stock or any damage, whatever is there, everything, all the description will be given by the consignee in account sale. This is the second point. Next, a pro forma invoice is sent only once along with the goods sent. So I am the consignee, right? Consigner. So what I will do once the goods sent, when I am sending, पहली बार जब मैं goods भिजा रही हूँ consigner to the consignee, I will once only I will prepare the pro forma invoice. Again and again I will not send the pro forma invoice. Only once it will be prepared. Once prepared by the consigner. तो मैं एक बार बना दी कि डिस्क्रिप्शन पूरा भिजा दी कंसाइनी को, लेकिन कंसाइनी क्या करता? He will, what the consignee will do? Consignee will send the account sale based on the goods sold. कितने goods? It may be after 3 months, it may be after 6 months, it may be yearly. Okay, depending upon that, he will also prepare the account sale and send periodically to the consigner. But pro forma invoice will be prepared only once, whereas account sale will be prepared periodically. Clear? Then a pro forma invoice does not make the consignee responsible to pay the amount stated. Now see here, the pro forma invoice does not make the consignee responsible to pay the amount. What he is trying to say, that the consignee is not paying any amount to the consigner. Okay, whatever is the losses are there, whatever is the profit he is enjoying, the consignee is working on commission basis. He is not working on profit, so he is not responsible. But an account sale makes the consignee responsible to pay the amount stated therein to the consigner. But what is trying to say? Account sale उसको responsible बना देती है कि whatever the amount is due, how much he have to pay, or the unsold stock return, everything he have to mention here. Okay, and now we will prepare the entries in the books of consigner. So how many accounts we will be preparing? In the books of consignee, the consignee have to prepare the accounts. The consignee will be preparing consignment account, goods and on consignment, consignee, and also consignment stock. इतने accounts consigner थे. In the books of consigner we have to prepare all this for accounts. Whereas in the books, in the consignee, only consigner account will be prepared. So this is the difference between pro forma invoice and account sale. So in the last class, I have explained you about the difference between consignment and sale. Now I have explained you the pro forma invoice and account sale. Now move on with the next topic, that is the treatment of accounts in the books of consigner. We have to prepare consignment account, consignee account, goods and on consignment, consignment stock. Now see here, consignment account is a nominal account. It is prepared like the trading and profit and loss account. If you remember in your first year intermediate as well as in your first SEM, you have done final accounts. There you have prepared trading and profit and loss account. So all the, you have to write goods and on consignment, all the expenses incurred, commission, profit you will be taking, debit and credit if it is loss, then buy sales, like that you have to prepare. It is a nominal account. You can also say profit and loss account. Consignee account is a personal account. Then goods and on consignment, it is like a trading account. Then consignment on stock also, it's a account which we have to prepare. So these are the four important accounts which we have to prepare while preparing consignment in the books of consigner. Then ordinary commission. This commission is paid by the consigner to the consignee on the amount of sale. It is fixed. Okay. If you will, for example, the consigner says that if you sold 50,000 rupees of sale, if you do the 15,000 rupees of sale, you will be getting 5% of commission. So it is fixed. Okay. Overriding commission. This is the extra intensives, we can say, extra allowances we can say, which will be paid along with the commission. Here, delegatory commission is paid along with the ordinary commission. Again, so you can see in the upcoming problems that ordinary commission 5% plus delegatory commission 2.5%, total 7.5% on sales. All these commissions will be calculated always on sales. Then valuation of unsold stock or consignment stock, depending upon that, means how to calculate the unsold stock. See, you have a formula for this. I will write the formula. Goods sent on consignment plus consigner expenses plus consignee expenses बैठो तो चलो. So the next one is valuation of unsold stock or consignment stock. So how to calculate the unsold stock? I will explain you that clearly. Calculation of unsold stock or consignment stock also we can say. Stock. So we have the formula for this. Goods sent on consignment plus consigner expenses plus consignee expenses into unsold by total. Okay. and consignee expenses. Only we have to take non-recurring, which will not recur again and again. For example, rent. Every month you are paying the rent. So rent you should not pay. So rent is a recurring expense. Every month you are paying. So you should not take rent, go down charges, all this every month you are paying. Once you are paying non-recurring, जो बार बार नहीं आते, वो non-recurring expenses है, वो लेना. Example of non-recurring also I'll give you. Freight, cartage, octree. All these are the example of non-recurring expenses which we have to add. So this is the formula for calculation of unsold stock. In detail, when we are doing the problem, I will explain again, don't worry. Then invoice price. Invoice price will be concealed from the consignee in order to get more and more profits. Invoice price will be concealed by the consigner from the consignee in order to get more and more profits above the cost. More than the cost when the price is fixed is known as invoice price. Abnormal loss. Two types of loss will be there, normal loss and abnormal loss. Abnormal loss means in case if the goods, if the consigner have sent, for example, I'm just giving you the example, the consigner have sent 50 goods to the consignee, okay? During the transit, during the goods are moving from one place, transportation. Transit is nothing but transporting. So during transit, 10 goods are damaged, okay? 10 goods are damaged. So this is known as abnormal loss. Abnormal loss, or you can also say destroyed. Destroyed during transit. So remaining how much? The consignee received 40 goods and he sold 30, and what is the remaining is 10, that is known as unsold stock. Okay. Now I will explain you again that what is the meaning of abnormal loss. A consigner have sent 50 goods. During transit means during the transportation or transferring the goods from the consigner place to the consignee place, 10 goods are damaged. Remaining the consignee received 40 and the consignee sold 30. How much left? 10. That is unsold. So how to calculate this important. Now see the formula. Calculation of abnormal loss. Goods sent on consignment plus consigner expenses. Only we have to take consigner expenses into damage by total. How much ever has been damaged by total. For example, 10,000 goods have been sent. Consigner expenses is 1,000. Damage is 10 and 50 is your total. Like this, you have to calculate 11,000 into 10 by 50. 10 by 50. I will show you how to do this. 11,000 into 10 divided by 50. Your abnormal loss is 2,200. So this 2,200 you have to take on the credit side of your consignment account by abnormal loss. That is 2,200. In detail, when we are doing the problem, I will explain you the entire concept very clearly, slowly, so that it will be very easy, very helpful for you to understand and get full 12 marks from this chapter. And moreover, I want to tell you that from this unit, from chapter consignment, 112 marks question is compulsory. 12 marks, one question is compulsory. Plus 4 marks also he is asking not the theory but the problem only. So total 16 marks you are getting from consignment account. From consignment account, how many marks? 16 marks you are getting 112 marks and 14 marks, completely problems only, no theory will be asked from last 3 years. I am seeing the paper, completely the problems only he will ask. So I will help you with my video to learn consignment in a very easy, very simple way, and you can easily score 16 marks in your exam. So please watch the entire video to learn the concept in a perfect manner, and then you can understand it in a better way. In the next video, I will start doing the first short problems, then I will explain you the long problems. So please like, share and subscribe to my channel, and also comment on my videos. Whatever problems you are facing or whatever you need more help from me, I am ready to help you out. So thank you for watching my video.